Mrs. Shomana Gracia Jacob, ME in Computer Science, lecturer in CPET, Chennai for the past 3 years. She has published 4 national and international papers. She has won Star Achiever Award for academic proficiency.
Welcome to the UGC lecture series in computer science. In today's session, we'll be seeing in detail about the structure concept in the C programming language, the way to define structures, how to declare and initialize them. Structure is a big concept in C which cannot be covered in just one session because structures are a very important part of C where we have several variables of different data types used under a single name. So, while studying the concept of structures, we have to first understand what is its use, where can this structure be applied, because it is quite an advanced concept. We need not use such concepts when we are going to program simple applications. So, first we will understand what is a structure, how it is declared and initialized, and what are its advantages, and where are the places where it can be used. So, when we come to the definition of structures, it is a collection of one or more variables of different data types. Now, if you see, the definition is somewhat similar to that of an array except for the last part of the definition. An array also holds one or more variables under a single name, but they should all belong to the same data type. Either all the variables should be integers, characters or float. That is the difference between an array and a structure. An array also holds a number of variables, but they can belong to different data types. The next important thing about a structure is that they are all grouped or housed under a single name. So, using a single name itself, we can identify different variables of different data types. So, we will see how this can be done using this C programming language. So, what are the features of this structure? See, normally when we can see, the only difference between array and structure is that array has variables of same data type and structure of different data types. But even in that same data type of arrays, when we copy one array to another, we cannot do it in a single statement. We have to copy each element of the array to another array. Whereas in structures, we can copy the entire contents of one structure to another structure by just a single statement. So, it is very easy to copy the elements of an array from one structure to another structure variable. Nesting of structures is possible, that is, we can have one structure inside another structure. It is possible to pass structure elements to a function just as how we pass arrays to a function. It is possible to create structure pointers. So, if you see, a structure also can be used with functions, it can be used with pointers. We can have an array of structures, we can have nesting of structures. In addition to that, we can copy the elements from one structure to another in a very simple manner by just use of a single or two statements. We do not have to take each element and copy it. So, how is a structure declared? How is it initialized? Declaration is where we identify that we are going to use such a structure in the program. Initialization is assigning of values to a structure. So, this is how a structure is initialized and declared. Struct is the keyword that is used to tell the compiler that we are defining a structure. Struct type, that is, we are going to give the name of the structure or the type of the structure, that is called the tag. So, struct type is just a syntactical word used here. The actual way to identify it, normally when we speak or refer to it, we call it the structure tag. In that we have two variables, type variable 1, that is, these are the variables that we want inside a structure. We can have integer, we can have character, we can have float, whatever we want. So, these are all called the members of the structure. What are the variables that the structure holds? So, here you have the tag for a structure, you need to have the struct keyword, you need to have these structure variables. These structure variables are called the members of the structure. So, you are supposed to identify the difference between the two using this word. When we mean tag, we mean the name of the structure. When we mean members, we mean the variables that it holds. And every struct variable, all the struct variables should be present within opening and closing braces. And the brace should end with a semicolon. So, all these are the rules to be followed when we use a structure. And again, what is this? To access the members of the structure, we need this particular statement to be defined. So, these are called the structure variables. So, you have three different parts in a structure. you have the struct keyword, you have the tag for the structure, you have the members of the structure, and you have the structure variables. Now, if you see, the struct type is repeated over here. So, the same method should be followed when we are declaring the structure variables. That means these variables belong to this type of structure. So, structure is nothing but a user defined data type. Normally, when we declare variables, we say int variable name or character variable name. Here we are declaring structure variable name. So, these variables belong to this data type called structure, which is defined by the user for his application's need. So, these are the parts to be remembered when we are declaring a structure, and the variables which are present inside the structure should come between opening and closing braces, and it should be terminated with a semicolon. Anything that is missing over here will lead to a compilation error. So, this is called the structure variables. V1, V2, V3 are the variables that we are having for this structure. This is only the common syntax. So, this is how an example looks like. We have the struct keyword. This is the structure tag. Book 1 is the structure tag, opening and closing braces, and these are the members of the structure. Now, if you see, we are having 3 members here. One is book, which is a string or a character array which can hold a maximum of 30 characters. We have an integer variable, which is variable name is page. We have a float variable, the name is price. So, these are the members of the structure. Book 1 is a structure tag. Now, they are present within the opening and closing braces, and we have terminated it with a semicolon. Now, if you see over here, we are having this struct book 1, which is nothing but the structure tag, and bk1. So, this is the structure variable. So, what is the use of this structure variable? To access each of these members, that character member, integer member, and float member, we have to access it only using this structure variable. So, now we will see how to access, what is the syntax to access these members. Now, the earlier slide we had seen about struct book 1, how it was declared. So, what does this declaration signify? What is the importance of that declaration? It defines the body of the structure. So, only when you declare a structure, the compiler will come to know what is the name of the structure tag and what are the members that it holds, how much of memory is to be allocated to it, and so on. So, the body of the structure is needed to be known by the compiler before we start using the structure. That is the reason we need the declaration. The next thing is the memory allocation takes place only when the variables are declared. So, variable declaration takes place after the declaration of the body. If you see, we had a separate sentence, struct tag v1, v2, v3. So, only when that variables are declared, the actual memory is allocated to it. So, in the previous example, we can calculate how many bytes would have been allocated for the particular structure. So, here you are having 30 characters. So, character minimum allocation is 1 byte. So, here we need to have 30 bytes plus integer holds 2 bytes. So, 30 plus 2, 32, and a float minimum storage allocation is 4 bytes. So, 32 plus 4, 36 bytes. So, when this variable bk1 is declared, immediately 36 bytes are allocated for this structure by the compiler. So, that is how the memory allocation is done for the structure. That is why a declaration is required and variable declaration is also required. So, this is how we say that 36 bytes are allocated for the members of struct book 1. So, now we come to the initialization part. Initialization is nothing but assigning values, initial values to the variables. So, again there are 2 ways you can do it. One is using the flower braces, you assign the values using the variable. So, struct book 1, bk1 is the variable name, is equal to within braces whatever members you have declared, whatever members of the structure are present. Now, we know that a character string is there, an integer member is there, a float member is there. So, according to that, here we have assigned one string, one integer, and one float value. So, this is one way of initially giving values to the members of the structure. Another way is where you use the variable name plus you use the member name and you give the value. So, the first member was book of 30, the second member was integer page, the third member was float price. So, using this variable name and this dot, we are assigning the value to this member. So, bk1 dot book is equal to the value, bk1 dot page is equal to the value, bk1 dot price is equal to this value. Always remember, based on the data type you are supposed to assign the value. If it is a character, you are supposed to assign a character value. If it is an integer value. So, these two ways exist or is permissible by C for you to initialize values for the members of the structure. So, any one way which is convenient for the programmer, he can use it to initialize the structure with the values. Now, we have given the values to the structure. Now, what is the purpose of this declaration and this initialization? We have to use this in a program to solve some problem. So, only when we come across situations where we need to have a single name to hold variables of different types, we will require the use of a structure. So, now we know that when we need to use a structure, how to declare it and how to initialize it. So, now we have to see how to access the structure contents when we are programming a particular solution to a problem. So, all the members of the structure can be accessed only through the variable bk1. So, already we saw it in the previous slide, there are two ways of initializing, both of them have to use that structure variable name. So, here I am using the word bk1 because that is the variable name we have taken in our example. So, what is the structure, what is the syntax? Structure variable dot member. So, bk1 dot book, bk1 dot page, bk1 dot price. So, using that, the structure variable is the main functioning member of the structure. Using that only we are going to access the contents, modify the contents or initialize the contents. So, that dot operator is also called the period operator. So, that plays a very significant role in a structure. So, if a question is asked like what is the significance of the dot operator, we have to say that using the dot operator only members of a structure can be initialized and they can be accessed. So, without the dot operator and without the structure variable, we cannot initialize or access the contents. So, this is the diagrammatic representation of how a compiler identifies the definition of a structure. bk1 is the structure variable name, book, pages and price are the structure members. So, the compiler understands that this book, page and price belong to this structure variable bk1. So, using bk1 we can do any manipulation that we want with the members of a structure. The structure tag is only used for the definition and for creating a variable for the structure. Otherwise, once the declaration part is over, everywhere in the programming the structure variable only is a master of all the members of the structure. So, this is just a diagrammatic representation for you to understand why bk1 is being given all the power to access, initialize and modify the contents. So, now we will see a simple program to copy the structure elements from one object to another object. So, as I said in the features of structure, copying the elements of a structure is a very simple task. So, we will see how it is done using a single statement. So, we have the main function and here we have the declaration of the structure. You have the structure tag. So, the tag here is disk. It is having again three members, character, float and integer, and the character array is a string which can hold up to 15 values. So, this is the declaration of the structure. We will see how using this declaration we are copying the contents after the break. Welcome back after the break. So, before the break we were seeing the initial part of this program of how to copy the elements from one structure to another. So, we had seen the main function and the declaration of the structure where the disk is the structure tag and the members of the structure are CO capable of holding 15 byte values and a type variable of type float, a price variable of type integer. So, these are the, so again this structure is also having three members, one of type character string, one of type float and one of type integer. So, here if you see the next statement is struct disk d1. So, here d1 is the structure variable, its value is initialized directly. They have already given here one string value, one float value and one integer value. See, when you are initializing values in this way, you have to remember to give the values in the way in which it is declared inside the structure. In the earlier example, I had given one string, integer and float. In this example, there is one string, float and integer. That is why when I am initializing the values also, I am giving it in that order, string, float and integer. So, initializing it this way, we should be careful that in the same order in which it is declared in the structure, the values should be initialized. And again in the next statement, so here the first structure variable is D1 and its values are already initialized. The next statement, if you see, again I am declaring two variables of type struct disk, D2 and D3. Now my job is to copy the contents from D1 to D2 and from D2 to D3. So how am I doing it? I am doing it in two ways. The first step is where I am copying first the string. So the first value I am going to copy, the next value and the third value, each I am doing it separately. So to copy a string, we have already seen the string functions, it is string copy and from source should come as a second argument and destination should be the first. I am going to copy from D1 to D2. So here my source is D1 and destination is D2. So D1.co to D2.co. This will copy the string Sony from D1 to D2. The next step I am copying the float value, D1 dot type is equal to D2 dot type. I am assigning the value from D1 to D2. Third step, the integer value, price from D1 to D2. So this is one way of copying the elements from one array to another. So this is also very simple, where I am taking each member of the structure and I am transferring its values or duplicating its values from one structure variable to another. Now if you see the next statement, here by just using this one statement, D2 is equal to D3 itself, all the values for all the members of the structure will be copied from D2 to D3. So there are two options in which you can copy the elements from one structure to another. One is you take each member and you copy its value, or by just the use of a single statement you can copy all the values for all the members of the structure from one structure variable to another. So here I am trying to print the values, display the values and see whether all the values have been copied correctly. So in the first statement I am printing the values for structure variable D1, second for D2 and third for D3. So finally if you see in the output, I get the same values for all the three statements. That means from D1 to D2 all the values for all the members have been copied. From D2 to D3 also the values have been copied. So this is how it is very much easier to copy the values of the members of the structure from one structure variable to another. So here again we see the dot operator's importance. Everywhere where we access the member, we use the dot operator and the structure variable. So this is how this is how we normally program using the structure concept in C. Now next we come to this concept of structure within a structure. It is also called nested structures. So what is the definition or what is the significance, in what way is it different? Objects of one structure can be members in another structure. So we can have one structure inside another, that is what this means. It is mainly used for complex data applications. If you understand this, it may not look as complex to you, except that you have to be very careful with maintaining and remembering the structure variables of each of the structures. The other name for this structure within structure is nested structures. So this is how the syntax is defined for a nested structure. Now the first thing that you see is a normal structure, struct time with three data types with three variables, integer, second, minute and hour, all the three are integer values, and you have closed it with a semicolon. You have, but the difference here is you have not declared any variables, you are only having the structure tag and you are having the members. You have closed it over here, you have not explicitly defined any variable. Now the next struct, if you see, you are having struct t, t is the tag, you are having one variable of type integer, and here if you see, you are declaring struct time st, struct time rt. So the two variables for this structure time is being declared inside another structure. So this is how you understand the concept of nested structures. when you declare a structure but do not declare its variables outside the structure, inside another structure the variables for that structure are defined. So, this is how this time becomes a nested structure. It is nested inside another structure T. Then this structure is also closed and a variable for that structure is defined, struct T play. So, now everything changes over here. How am I going to access the members of struct time? I do not have a separate variable for it outside the or in the main function. At the same time, I am having a variable declared for it inside another structure. So, how am I going to initialize or access the contents of struct time? So, now we will see how we are going to do it. So, struct T play. So, play is a structure variable for structure of type T. Now, this is how the compiler identifies the distribution of the values of this structure. You first have the play function, which is the main structure variable. Inside play, this has direct access to the variable car, to the variable st and to the variable rt. Now, see that is how this is defined. Play is having variables car, st and rt. So, this play is having direct access to st, rt and car number. This st is having direct access to second, minute and hour. RT is having direct access to second, minute and hour. So, that is what is diagrammatically represented over here. You are having play, car number, st and RT. ST is having access to second, minute and hour. RT is having access to second, minute and hour. So, now to access the contents of variable, if you want to access the values of second, minute and hour through play, you have to come to ST. From ST only you can access this. Similarly, through play you have to come to RT. Through RT only you can access these three, because only they three are having the access to this directly. So, how is it going to be done using a programming language? Play dot st dot second, play dot rt dot hour, play dot car number. Now, this car number is a direct member of this structure, that is why you are not having any intermediate value, whereas the second, hour and minute are all nested structures. Through time only you have to access those values, because time is only the member tag or the structure tag for those particular integers. So, play dot st dot second, play dot rt dot hour, play dot rt dot minute and play dot car number. So, to access the values or to access the members, we have to access it through those particular variables. You cannot directly say play dot second. So, this is the concept of nested structures and how to access the contents of a plain structure plus the members of the structure which is nested inside another. Next, we go into this concept of pointer to a structure. So, this is how you access the members of a structure using pointer variables as well. So, here the starting address of the memory variable can be accessed. Now, this is just similar to an array. See, an array is also considered as a pointer variable only, because the name of the array itself holds the address of the first variable of the array. So, that is the same concept used here. The starting address of the memory variable is accessed. So, when we say a pointer to a structure, another name for it is also called as structure pointers. Now, this is how the syntax is declared. The declaration is the same, struct tag and the members of the structure enclosed within braces and semicolon, and the declaration of the variable is struct book, that is nothing but the struct tag. Instead of simply giving a variable name, here we have to give a pointer variable. So, pointer variable name ended with a semicolon, that is the only difference in the declaration of the structure pointer. So, now we will see a small example of how to display the contents of a structure using this pointer variable. You have the main function, again you have the declaration of structure tag. Two variables are there of different data types, one is character string, the other one is integer, and it is enclosed within braces terminated by a semicolon. Now, this is where you initialize the members, struct book B1. So, now this B1 is a plain structure variable. It is having the values for the members of the structure. First is a string value, the second is an integer value. Next statement, you are having again a variable declaration, struct book and a pointer variable. So, in this program we are having two variables, one is a general variable, the other one is a pointer variable. So, now this pointer variable is capable of holding the address. So, now we have to give the address of the general variable to this pointer variable and then access the contents using the pointer variable. So, this is the way it is done, this is the statement or the syntax. Address of B1, the common variable, is passed on to the pointer. So, then when we want to display the contents using the general variable, we simply use the dot operator, B1 dot name and B1 dot page. Now, when we want to display the contents using the pointer variable, we have to use this arrow operator. So, pointer, arrow, name, pointer, arrow, page. So, that is a difference in the way we access the contents of a structure using pointers. This is a simple program just to display the contents. Even for complex applications, when we are passing pointer variables to functions also, when we want to access the contents, we use this arrow operator. So, the two main operators of great significance when we use structures is the dot operator and the arrow operator. The dot operator is when we want to access the contents of a structure using general volatile variables. When we want to access the contents of a structure using pointer variables, we go in for arrow mark. This is not only for accessing the contents, even for modifying the contents. If we want to access and do something, we have to use this arrow operator. And then because we are having two display statements, the same data is printed for both the printf statements. So, this is how we declare pointer variables, assign the address to pointer variables and display pointer variable values accessing the members of the structure. So, this is the concept of structures that we have seen today, the way they are declared and initialized, the way to access them, how the compiler understands the access phenomena and the example programs for each of the concept of nested structures, copying elements from one structure to another and the pointer to structures. So, next we will see what are the possible questions that can be asked in this session. First is, what is a structure in C? A structure is nothing but a user defined data type which the user defines to contain variables of different data types under a single name. So, that is the definition of a structure. The way it is declared and initialized is, we have seen you have to use the struct keyword, you need to have the structure tag, opening and closing braces terminated by semicolon, within that the members of the structure. Finally, you need to have the structure variables. The structure variable can be a pointer variable, it can be a volatile variable. How are structure elements accessed using pointers? That is just what we saw in the previous session. We have to use the arrow operator. You have to use the pointer name followed by the arrow operator followed by the member name. So, before we use the pointer operator, we first have to assign the address where the members are stored to that pointer variable. That is important, only then that pointer will access the members of the structure. The nested structure concept is having one structure inside another. So, the structure tag for which the member is declared, the variable is declared, should be used to access the members of the nested structure as well. And the dot operator is for accessing the members of a structure using the variables. So, these are the concepts that we have seen today and the example programs. So, working out other programs, more programs from different application domain, you will be able to get a better idea of how to access the contents in different situations. Thank you.